Life is a winding road, no telling where it.
Let's get ready to celebrate my 1-year wedding anniversary. We have plans at the Lamont, which is where we had our reception in Pittsburgh. It overlooks the city. It's up on this hill called Mount Washington, and it's a gorgeous view there, amazing food, and we're so excited to go back. This is the first time we're going back since our wedding 1 year ago today on August 10th, and we have a dinner reservation tonight. I'm so excited to eat the food at the Lamont. I hope we can get like the same thing we had for the wedding. I had the chicken bruschetta and it was incredible. But it's already been a really fun day. We went to church, met up with a friend for some coffee in the Strip. It was super fun. And yeah, now we're celebrating our anniversary. We've also saved our wedding cake from last year, so I can't wait to try it. Hopefully it stayed semi-good in the freezer, but we like wrapped it up super tight in this plastic, but we'll see how it held up. But yeah, I just wanted to take you guys along with me and vlog. I know it's been a minute, but I'm back here on YouTube and I'm excited to create a lot of content this week. It's also my birthday and I'm headed to New Orleans on Thursday, so stay tuned for that vlog as well. I thought it would be fun to try to do my makeup like I had my makeup done on my wedding day. And I also thought it would be fun to reminisce about my wedding day and wedding planning process, kind of what I thought went well, what I would do differently, and everything like that. I have a lot of other wedding planning videos on my channel if you're interested, but I thought this would be fun to kind of do my thoughts and feelings a year out from my wedding. So first we're gonna prime with some Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. This is something that my makeup artist used on me on my wedding day, and I was a little skeptical at first because I have pretty oily skin and I thought this would make my face too greasy, but it actually really set my makeup so nicely. My makeup literally lasted all day long, and I think this primer was definitely a big reason why. I think it's really good for all skin types, and I love using it, especially in the winter. It is really expensive. That's why I have the little small mini size, because I do not use this product every day. But we're just gonna let this kind of soak in a little bit before we go in with our foundation. Next, we're going in with some Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I do wear this foundation pretty regularly and I wore it on my wedding day. I knew I loved how full coverage and mattifying it is, and it truly lasts forever. I definitely recommend this foundation for your wedding day. Even if you don't normally wear a full coverage foundation, I think you're gonna want one because of how long you want your makeup to last. It's crazy because I feel like today is a pretty similar day to our wedding. We got so lucky and the skies were clear and blue, and it was like a really comfortable temperature in the like mid to upper 70s, which is so unheard of for August in Pittsburgh. I definitely planned my wedding with the expectation that it was going to rain or have bad weather because I just wanted to kind of prepare for the worst, and I didn't want to get my expectations up and like think to myself that I'm definitely going to have nice weather. I also have an August birthday and it usually rains on my birthday, so that's also why I thought that we probably wouldn't have nice weather, but it was a gorgeous, gorgeous day, and I honestly could not have asked for better weather on my wedding day. But something I'm so glad we did was we definitely like invested in our flowers, but we didn't like break our budget on the flowers. I feel like people that do those like huge wedding arches with flowers, those have to be so expensive. I feel like those have to be like thousands of dollars, but we just really invested in a few flowers at the altar at our church on either side of the altar, and then I really invested in my bouquet. I had this cascading bouquet. It was huge, and I feel like it really made all of the pictures. I love my bouquet so much. It looked so good on camera, and it was just so fun having like this gorgeous statement bouquet. We are going in with the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I don't know what kind of concealer my makeup artist used on me. I don't think it was this one though. But I really like this concealer because it's full coverage, but it's not like thick and sticky like Tarte Shape Tape. But I did ask for like full glam from my makeup artist. I asked for full glam, full coverage, but like soft glam, soft smoky eye. And I'll insert a picture here so you can see my makeup if you are a bride-to-be and you kind of also want this similar look. Another thing I'm really glad I did during the whole wedding planning season was I just really leaned into all of the events, the bachelorette party, the bridal shower, the dress fittings, everything like that. I always like leaned into the outfits especially. I loved all my outfits from my bachelorette and my honeymoon. I loved the dress I wore for my bridal shower and my rehearsal dinner. And I thought it was just so fun, really just like leaning into those events, buying really special dresses, spending the money, wearing the bride t-shirt, the bride tote bag. I don't care if it's chuggy or, you know, not everybody has to like that. Not everybody has to approach their wedding era with, you know, going all out like that, but I think it's really fun and I wouldn't let what other people think of you stop you from going all out with your outfits during your wedding era. I'm going in with this NYX Wonder Stick, this bronzer. I was a little nervous that I was going to be like too bronzy on my wedding day because my trial, I felt like I had never really seen myself be that bronzed up, and I do have fair skin, but once again, I really liked how my makeup looked in all of the pictures, so I think it turned out well. One of my biggest wishes for my wedding day was to just spend the whole entire night dancing with my family and friends to my favorite songs, and that went exactly as planned. I had so much fun on the dance floor. I literally did not get off the dance floor, not even once, to pee. I stayed on the dance floor for like the entire 3 hours and it was so much fun. I love dancing to music. I'm definitely not the best dancer, but I really enjoy it, especially when it's music I like. And another really cool thing that happened for my wedding was my DJ had like a pre-planning call with me a couple days before the wedding. It was like the final or I guess it was just a planning call, not pre-planning, but he had like the final planning call with me a couple days before the wedding. And I was kind of surprised that he told me, like, make sure you really fill up this playlist because, you know, I want to be sure that I'm playing songs that you like. And so I did. I put like 100 songs on this playlist and he literally played every single one. He did not deviate from my playlist with the exception of 2 songs, one that my mom requested and one that my best friend Katie requested. But other than that, he didn't deviate at all. So it was so amazing. I definitely did not expect my DJ to play like all the Taylor Swift songs that I wanted, but he did, and it was just so amazing and it meant so much to me because I feel like at the end of the day, like, it is the couple's wedding, and if they do want, you know, specific songs, I think it's really nice whenever the DJ considers that. So honestly, plug for my DJ Soundwaves. If you're in the Pittsburgh area, they were really good. I'm just going in with some e.l.f. blush. And then I'm gonna go in with this e.l.f. highlighter stick. Another thing that I really liked was we spent kind of a lot of money on our rehearsal dinner. We bought out on it. I got a pretty expensive dress for the rehearsal dinner, and we had an open bar. We had it at the hotel we were staying at, the Hotel Monaco, and we got to utilize the rooftop. We had a very fancy plated dinner, and I'm so happy we spent that money on the rehearsal dinner because we had so much fun celebrating with our family and friends and like our intimate bridal party. It was a great time to connect with them before the craziness of the next day. I'm gonna go in with this Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nudes palette. It's so pretty. Again, I don't remember what my makeup artist used on me for the wedding eyeshadow, but it was like a very light, soft, smoky glam. Actually, I might go in with a different palette. I might do this Natasha Denona palette because this is what I wore for my rehearsal dinner and my bridal shower and like all throughout my honeymoon. And it's like these soft pinks. So I'm actually gonna use this. I feel like the one regret I had about my wedding, or I guess there was like 2 regrets maybe, but let me find my brush here. But the one regret that I have is I feel like I got a little too lit at my rehearsal dinner. I think it's really hard not to get excited at your rehearsal dinner and drink because, you know, once again, like everybody is celebrating you and, you know, you're seeing people that you haven't seen in a while, and it could be like one of the first times in your adult life where like all of your friends are in the same place. I know it was like that for me. I feel like my high school friends had never really hung out with my college friends, and so it was just a lot of fun. And I kind of promised myself before the rehearsal dinner that I wouldn't like have more than like 3 drinks, but of course that didn't happen. And fortunately I was fine the next day, but I feel like I didn't get the best sleep the night before my wedding because I was a little bit too tipsy. And I feel like I don't sleep well after I drink a lot. So that was one regret that I had from my wedding day. Ironically, I feel like the day after my actual wedding, I was like not even hungover. I was just really tired from dancing. But those drinks at our rehearsal dinner, they were strong. I guess my other like kind of regret is maybe not investing enough in our like party bus transportation for the bridal party. We were like a little bit squished in it. And at the end of the day, we were just, you know, trying to stay within our budget. And I think we thought the food and alcohol at our venue would be a lot more expensive than it actually was. But it ended up being a little bit cheaper. So I feel like we could have invested a little bit more in the transportation, so we had more room and so like our parents could have traveled with us. But also at the end of the day, I feel like if you're worried about like your parents traveling with you or something like that, like your parents could offer to like pay for the transportation themselves to be included, because Nick and I pretty much paid for our whole wedding ourselves. And you know, you really don't know the final price of things whenever you're in the planning phases, especially the early planning phases when you're just signing contracts and kind of receiving estimates. So we decided to like opt for like more of a budget option for our transportation. One thing about me is I'm very, very pro team first look. I always try to convince my friends to do a first look because I think it just makes so much sense. I feel like a lot of people like romanticize that moment whenever their partner sees them like walking down the aisle. And to be honest, I feel like as soon as the church doors opened, I was just more focused on like not tripping and walking down the aisle than I was on like looking at Nick. And you're also so far away from that other person, and it does get more intimate as you get closer. But I feel like our first look was so intimate and it was like so magical seeing each other for the first time, and I really got to hear like his reaction to my wedding dress and everything. So I'm very much team first look. I think it's great, and I would do a first look again for sure. Got the mascara on, had to do that off camera, but we're going in with our MAC brow pencil and then Maybelline over top. Another thing I'm really glad that we did was we extended our DJ at our venue by an hour. So we extended till 11 p.m. because our venue didn't really have a time limit. And we did this instead of having like a traditional after party. I think this was such a great idea because I feel like the party kind of dies a lot of times whenever you transition from like the venue to somewhere else and have an after party. Like not everybody shows up, and we felt like us as the bride and groom, we might be really tired by that point, and we weren't even sure if we would be able to make it to our own after party, because we've also seen that happen at weddings where the bride and groom don't even show up to the after party. And we also didn't really have the budget to pay for people's drinks, so we didn't want to like invite people to an after party with this expectation that they would be getting like free drinks, and then they showed up and it was like not the case. So we like brought some alcohol to the hotel room just in case we would do something like with our intimate friend group, but we never even ended up doing that because we were just so tired because we had gotten up so early, and like I said, we kind of partied the night before a lot at our rehearsal dinner. We have our hair curling iron plugged in. Sometimes people ask me what the secret is to getting your makeup to last, and I feel like it's using this Urban Decay setting spray or another good equivalent setting spray, because this really helps in my opinion. Another thing I'm glad we did was we didn't have a sparkler exit. Glad we didn't have a sparkler exit for the same reasons that we didn't have an after party. I just feel like we'd be so tired at that point, and we had already taken so many pictures and so many videos that it just seemed like a lot to basically get that on film, and I felt like that's all that would be for, is for the pictures. And then we had to pay our photographer a lot of extra money to get the photos, and we definitely didn't want to pay both the photographer and videographer, so we just kind of felt like it wasn't worth it, and I feel like that was a really good choice. I also feel like sparkler exits are kind of on their way out now anyway. Another thing I thought we did really well for our wedding was we really stayed on the timeline, and my photographer kept being like, oh, we have more time, like I've never seen someone's wedding like basically run on time as much as yours did. And I feel like it ran on time for really two big reasons, or three reasons really. One, I created a very detailed timeline for everyone, and I communicated the expectations of that timeline to everyone in the wedding party and the photographer and videographer well ahead of time, like a week before the wedding, so everyone was kind of on the same page. Another thing is we started getting ready early. We gave ourselves a little bit of extra time, which definitely helped. I would definitely bake some extra time into your wedding day schedule. I read somewhere that if it normally takes you like 5 minutes to do something, add 10 minutes onto it for your wedding day. So like if it normally takes you 5 minutes to get dressed, you should allot for 15 minutes to get dressed. And I feel like that's so true, because everything takes longer when you're wearing a big fancy dress, and everything also takes longer whenever you're like the center of attention and people are like wanting to talk to you during like every second. So yeah, I would definitely bake that extra time into your schedule. And I mean, like the third reason was we did just kind of get lucky, like none of our vendors were late, and you know, everything ran on time at the Lamont. I would also plug the Lamont again for sure. They did a great job helping us stay on schedule, and we had a really great experience there. Something else I was glad that I did was with my photographer, I really communicated to him like some of the exact shots I wanted, and I pulled some pictures from his gallery that I liked, and also pictures from other photographers around Pittsburgh that shot at some of the locations that we were going to be shooting at that my photographer had never been to, or at least the images weren't available on his website. So I had like some really specific shots, like some really specific detail shots for him with like my shoes and my makeup, and I was like very clear with him through email to like what I wanted, and as a result I absolutely love my wedding pictures. I think they're just one of my favorite things to have come out of that day. I love every single one, and my photographer was literally amazing. But I would definitely recommend like really communicating with your photographer, and don't think that they assume that they know like exactly what you want, because there really is so many different styles of photography and there's so many different shots that you can take. Something I did which I thought was really cute was I printed out these best day ever newspapers with a Canva template, and I had my bridesmaids hold them up with their PJs, and we got like the shot of us on the bed together at the hotel, and it was really cute, and I love that shot. So if you guys want to do it, I would recommend it. It's really fun and cute. A tip I have when choosing vendors is to ask if the owner of the company is going to be the one coming to the wedding and, you know, shooting the video or the photos or whatever it is, or if they are sending like their assistants or counterparts, because that was something that happened with our videographer. I talked to the owner of the company and I really liked him. He definitely sold me on his style, his promises. He sounded like somebody I really vibed with, but then it was never communicated to us that he would be sending 2 other people that weren't him to shoot our wedding, and they were nice people and they did a good job, but I feel like they didn't, I don't know, they didn't really match the exact vision I had in mind, or like exactly how things would be, you know, structured. And I feel like that was due to them not being the people I talked with on the phone. So that's something definitely to keep in mind whenever you are choosing vendors. Like, ask that question, especially if it seems like it's a larger business that you're working with, because this videographer is located in the Cleveland area and they do both Cleveland and Pittsburgh based weddings. Another thing I'm glad I did was I just kind of kept to like my normal hairstyle. I didn't get a spray tan. I didn't really want to look like a super different version of myself. I just kind of wanted to look like the glam version of me, right? Not like the everyday girl that goes into the office and does internal audit, but like the girl that, you know, goes out in the town, or kind of how I look if I would go to someone else's wedding. So I kind of stuck with the same hairstyle, a little bit more volume though, I would say, and like I didn't get a spray tan, and I'm really happy that I kind of, you know, stuck to who I was and I didn't try anything like too risky for my wedding. I feel like if you want to try like risky hairstyles, I feel like a good way to do it is look at your friends' weddings if you're a bridesmaid in someone else's wedding, because it's like, you know, the bar is lower if it doesn't really turn out the way you imagined. Like, of course you want to like look nice for your friend, but like at the end of the day, it's not your wedding. So I feel like if you want to do crazy stuff with your hair, do it at other people's weddings. But I've been yapping for so long. I hope you guys found this little segment interesting. I'll definitely take you guys along to dinner with me as well. I guess I do have one more tip, if it's not too long, if this part of the video is not too long, but I would say definitely break in your wedding shoes before your wedding, because my shoes, I thought they were comfortable and I thought they would be okay, but they weren't. They were pretty killer and I got blisters, and I took them off the first chance that I got. But definitely try to break in your wedding shoes. I don't know if you want to try stretching them out in the freezer, or getting like little blister pads or band-aids or something to put on the backs of your heels, but I definitely got all blistered up from my wedding shoes. And I would also say, just like, don't let other people dictate the course of your wedding. Like, your wedding should be between you and your spouse. Like, it's not between you and your parents, or you and your best friend, or you and your mother-in-law, or your aunt, or whoever it is. Like, I feel like a lot of people get stressed when they plan a wedding because they're trying to cater towards other people's preferences and visions instead of what they really want. So don't be afraid to make your own decisions in the wedding planning process. And I know I'm still yapping, but one of the things that I really didn't expect to like so much, but I loved on my wedding day, was Nick and I's first dance. I feel like I definitely thought the first dance would be just kind of like a lot of pressure, just worrying about like not tripping and not looking like an idiot in front of everyone that I know. But in reality, it was like surprisingly intimate. I feel like I just looked at him the whole time and I literally blocked out everything else, and it was like just me and him dancing to Lover by Taylor Swift, and it was so romantic. And I didn't even plan on dancing for the full song. I had told my DJ before, like, yeah, I think I want you to cut it like around like the 2-minute mark or like 1:30, and he's like, yeah, sure, like that's what most people do, just like give me a nod and I'll do it. And we kind of got to that point in the song and I was just like, I don't want this to end, I want to keep dancing. So we danced to the whole song. I mean, Lover is not that long of a song, but I think it is like maybe like 3 minutes and 20 seconds or 3 minutes and 15 seconds, something like that. But I honestly loved our first dance. It was one of my favorite parts of our wedding. Here is my outfit. This dress is from Lulu's. I got it for our honeymoon, actually. These are the shoes I wore on the rehearsal dinner. They're Steve Madden. I love the square toe. I am wearing the earrings I wore for my bridal shower and rehearsal dinner. My mom's friend made them. And then I am wearing this bracelet that I wore on my wedding day. I got it from, I forget what brand I actually got this from. Maybe Untamed Petals, I'm not sure, but all dressed up and ready for dinner. We're here at the Mount Washington overlook. We took a bunch of pictures here on our wedding day. The sun was like directly in our eyes because we were here earlier. But it's such a nice day and it's so fun being back here and taking some pictures and videos.
Wasn't I meant to lie in your arms here for a while?
So we are back from our wonderful dinner at the Lamont, and we are actually going to have a bottle of this Moet Chandon that we got as a present for our wedding last year. And we're going to have it in these adorable little champagne flutes that we used on our wedding day. I got these from Hobby Lobby and they're so, so cute. And then we're going to watch our wedding video together. We've actually never watched the full like hour-long wedding video. We've just watched like the 10-minute version. So it's gonna be kind of a surprise to us. And I'm really excited. So let's crack this open. I like to do it properly. You don't just tear into it. Okay. I'm scared. I'm so nervous.
You'll be okay.
I don't want it to go everywhere. Lols. What? I got it.
Okay.
What do you say? What do you think?
Okay.
What? I'm scared.
I was gonna say, do you want me to do this?
No.
Okay.
Woo! See, that's how you're supposed to do it so it doesn't fly. You keep the little cage on it. For the groom. Woo! For the bride. Cheers to our 1 year of being together and many more. I love you.
I love you.
Oh, that's crisp.
That is good.
Wow. Actually, I feel like that tastes kind of weird.
No, it's fine.
You think it's fine?
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Okay, we're gonna go watch our wedding video now. We were watching our wedding video from our videographers and also the video that I made for a wedding, and I have to say I feel like I like my video better, but It was so fun. Now we're gonna finally have our freaking wedding cake that has been in our freezer for 1 year. It's like 9:30 at night. I don't know. We ended up like watching the wedding videos and they took like an hour, and then we watched our honeymoon video that I vlogged. So it was all so fun, but now it's like 9:30 and we really want to have our wedding cake, even though I'm super full because we had like this dessert at the Le Mans. It was this like chocolate brownie cake. It was really, really good. I'm not like a huge sweets person, but honestly, that was really delicious. Here's our cake. Here's our cake. Look at it. It looks so good. Almond with buttercream frosting. I'm really sad to eat it, honestly. I hope it tastes good. Oh yeah, it feels good. Yay, thank you. Come sit. These look so good. We only had like one piece of our cake. Like right after the wedding. Wait, are you in it? There you go. Okay, let's try it. Here we go. Cheers. Oh my god. It's insane. It's so good. Just as good as the first time.
I was just about to say that.